Hey and welcome to the Daily Manchester United News show. Let's begin with our daily news. Crystal Palace enter race to sign Man United goalkeeper Dean Henderson. Crystal Palace are planning a surprise move to sign Manchester United goalkeeper Dean Henderson ahead of the transfer deadline, according to The Sun. The England international has been in the matchday squads for the first two games of the new Premier League season, but he is anticipated to leave the club before the transfer window closes. Nottingham Forest were fancied to sign him earlier in the summer, but the Sun claimed that they were wary of conducting a premature medical that could aggravate his recovery from a thigh injury. Matt Turner has since joined the club from Arsenal, and it's unclear whether they will revive their pursuit. It's now reported by The Sun that Palace have joined the race for his signature. The Red Devils are prepared to consider a loan deal with an option to buy at the end of the campaign. Palace have two loan spots available for new signings. Henderson could come in to compete with fellow United graduate Sam Johnston for the number one role, with Gaeta set to leave. The 26-year-old had a good loan stint with Forest last season. Before his thigh injury in January, he was initially anticipated to return after 6 weeks, but required surgery in the end. As a result, he could not play any part during the final 4 months of the campaign. Henderson recently seemed convinced that he would rejoin Forest on a permanent basis, but their mindset may have changed with Turner's impressive start between the sticks. In our view, Palace would be a good destination for the club graduate if he has no plans to stay. Donny van de Beek is deep in negotiations with another club. Sofyan Amrabat agreed personal terms with Manchester United over a month ago, and now, finally, the door looks to have been opened for Erik ten Hag to make his move. That is because Donny van de Beek is in deep negotiations with another club, according to reliable reporter Fabrizio Romano. The journalist took to Twitter before United's match against Tottenham Hotspur to explain the reason for the Dutchman's absence from the matchday squad, while Harry Maguire, another official linked with an exit, was cited as having a minor injury issue. Van de Beek's absence had another explanation. Romano claimed that the midfielder could not be part of the squad due to negotiations ongoing for his exit from Old Trafford, and Ten Hag confirmed that after the match. While Romano's update ahead of the match did not mention who Donny van de Beek would be joining, there has been plenty of negotiation between the player and one club in particular. According to recent report, Real Sociedad have been keen on the Dutch playmaker for weeks, and while it seemed as though they were ready to move on to another targets, it now appears that a move could be back on. Man United were adamant that they wanted an obligation to buy inserted into any loan deal rather than an option, and they may well have got their wish, since previous reports had indicated that Manchester United would need to offload two midfielders in order to finance a bid for another. Sofyan Amrabat now seems to be a short step away from Old Trafford. Andre Onana can hold his head high after good display in Tottenham defeat. Manchester United goalkeeper Andre Onana produced a good performance despite the club's 2-0 Premier League defeat to Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday. The Cameroonian star joined the Red Devils from Ajax earlier this summer, and he kept a clean sheet on his club debut against Wolverhampton Wanderers on Monday. He could not replicate defeat against the Spurs on the road, but the 27-year-old delivered a credible display between the sticks. He was not at fault for either goal conceded. Onana completed an impressive 22 out of his 28 passes with 4 successful long balls. He also won 100% of his aerial duels while making 5 saves in the game. United made a good start against the Spurs and should have had a penalty for a handball in the box. However, they could not convert the momentum into a goal. The host grew in confidence before half-time and managed to break the deadlock immediately after the interval. Onana could not have done much to prevent Pape Matasar's goal. Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes should have spotted the late run from the Senegal international into the box. Spurs made it 2-0 from Alessandro Martinez's own goal. Onana was likewise not at fault. In our view, the Cameroonian had a positive display despite the club ending on the losing side. He was confident with his distribution from the box. There were some misplaced passes in the second half, but he should only get better as he builds understanding with his teammates. Gary Neville says Man United player Casemiro looked lost. Manchester United legend Gary Neville has said that the club will have big problems this season if they don't bolster their midfield department before the transfer deadline. Speaking on Sky Sports after the game, Neville highlighted that Casemiro has looked lost in the first two games of the new season and United's midfield needs bolstering. He added that manager Erik ten Hag is looking for a new number 6 to play alongside Casemiro, and the club have to found it or there will be big problems over the season. He said, Casemiro looks lost in midfield in these first two matches. What's clear is that Manchester United's midfield needs bolstering. Ten Hag wants a number 6 who can play alongside Casemiro, and at the moment, the club can't get players out to be able to found that. If they look at the first 2 weeks, they have to found it, or there will be big problems. What's clear is that Ten Hag doesn't want to revert back to Scott McTominay. Casemiro had a tough start to the season versus Wolves. He won just 3 out of 15 duels and was dispossessed on 17 occasions over 90 minutes. There was an improvement on his statistics against Spurs. He won 7 out of his 12 duels contested and lost possession on only 9 occasions. However, it was clear to see that Spurs' Dioyevis Bissouma and Pape Matar had the better of him in the center of the park with their higher intensity. Sarr made a late run into the box for the opening goal, which Casemiro failed to spot. Bissouma, on the other hand, made several forward runs without Casemiro's intervention. The Brazilian definitely needs more support alongside him. Roy Keane gives biggest insult to Man United players after Tottenham loss. Roy Keane blasted Manchester United following their 2-0 defeat to Tottenham Hotspur on Saturday evening. He told Sky Sports, I think Manchester United are the new Spurs, they separate. The biggest insult, I always think about teams that can do it away from home or players who aren't up for it away from home. They are bringing on Martial, they are bringing on these players. You might as well bring on Frank Stapleton and Norman Whiteside. Martial is not going to get you out of trouble. Rashford played through the middle again. He is like a child up there. He is obviously not happy playing through the middle, and his body language, his first few touches, suggest he is thinking, I don't want to play up through the middle. But you have to do a job for the team tonight. You are looking at our captain, the senior players who are established, international players. It's easy to play against them. That's the biggest insult I can give to these United players. Man United target Benjamin Pavard has definitely chosen Inter Milan. Bayern München defender Benjamin Pavard has definitely chosen Inter Milan amid Manchester United's interest in signing him, according to Corriere dello Sport. The 27-year-old has less than 11 months remaining on his current contract, and he has no plans of putting pen to paper on an extension. Inter are currently in formal talks with Bayern, and Pavard prefers to join them. The Frenchman recently liked a post on Inter Milan's Instagram account before following them. He has definitely chosen the Nerazzurri as his next destination, but the Serie A outfit have yet to finalize a transfer fee. The club recently proposed to pay 25 million euros plus add-ons for the versatile defender, but Bayern are looking for 40 million euros to consider his departure. Meanwhile, United are willing to match the demands of Bayern, but the offer will remain virtual until Harry Maguire is convinced to leave the club. United manager Erik ten Hag recently urged the hierarchy to sign Pavard from Bayern, and reports claim that the player has been convinced to join the club. However, A move seems unlikely to happen at the moment, with Maguire reluctant to move on. The Red Devils reached a verbal agreement to sell their former captain to West Ham United earlier this month, but he refused to negotiate personal terms. As a result, the club are not in a position to spend on Pavard due to financial fair play issues. He would be a quality acquisition with his ability to play in central defense or at right back. The Frenchman has had a passing accuracy of 90% for most of his career and has no weaknesses defensively. He has excelled with his tackling, clearances, and duel winning ability. Ten Hag sees Pavard as an ideal signing to provide competition. He has reportedly guaranteed him an important role, but United are facing a losing battle. Inter are already in advanced negotiations with Bayern for the World Cup winner, and they could seek to reach an agreement for his services in the next few days. Marco Verratti targeted by Manchester United to fix shaky midfield. Manchester United are moving to signing Paris Saint-Germain midfielder Marco Verratti to strengthen their midfield. That's according to L'Equipe via PSG Talk, who claim that the Red Devils have come forward in the last few days to express their interest in the Italian playmaker. Also in the picture are Bayern München. Also, as things stand, Verratti will be leaving European football altogether. The diminutive midfielder has already agreed personal terms with the Saudi Pro League club Al Ahly, who are yet to reach an accord with PSG. That leaves the door open for Bayern and United to make an approach. And while neither are likely to offer the same level of financial windfall, the chance to stay in Europe could appeal. At 30 years of age, Verratti still has plenty to offer at the top level of the game and has plenty of experience as a world-class player. His passing range and phenomenal press resistance are exceptional facets of his game, while he is far from shy of getting mud on his boots, with the Italy star enjoying the defensive side of the game. Man United would benefit from having a natural deep playmaker in their squad, with Eriksen the only midfielder in the squad comfortable creating from deep. However, Verratti would come with plenty of issues that Erik Ten Hag could really do without. His injury record is far from encouraging. For example, last season alone, he missed a total of 42 days due to various injuries, according to Transfer Market. During his time in Paris, he has never once finished a season with more than 30 league starts. That kind of record does not bode well for a player on the wrong side of 30, and for the money he would cost, PSG are thought to want in excess of £25 million before getting into the reported £252,000 a week in wages he currently commands. Ten Hag would probably be better off looking elsewhere. It would be little surprise if this link came from PSG themselves as a bid to put pressure on Al Ahly to up their offer. Fiorentina sporting director believes Man United's Sofyan Amrabat bid will come towards the end of the transfer window. Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag has had to face a lot of questions regarding his midfield. A lot of names have cropped up in recent weeks, but the manager's preference has always been Fiorentina's Sofyan Amrabat, with the pair having worked together back during their Utrecht days. The Red Devils have reportedly agreed personal terms with the player a while back, but due to paucity of funds, the move has not materialized till now. United needed to sell a couple of midfielders first before progressing with the deal, but so far, only Fred has left the club, while both Scott McTominay and Donny van de Beek remain. This massive delay has allowed Liverpool into the race, and reportedly Jurgen Klopp even got in touch with the player in order to convince him to come to Anfield instead of Old Trafford. The Moroccan has remained firm so far, with United planning a last-minute trade that would allow them to clinch the deal while also getting a discount. Fiorentina will not sell him Rabbit if valuation is not met, but Fiorentina sporting director Daniel Prade has told Quotidiano.net that while the Serie A club are open to selling their talismanic midfielder, they will not do so if their valuation of 30 million euros is not met. He said, "If we find a solution that satisfies everyone, would be delighted to let him go. Otherwise, we'd be just as happy to keep him with us. He is a strong player and a serious professional who cares about our shirt. While the Morocco international is said to be frustrated with this entire delay, Fiorentina are calm as they know most important deals occur during the end of the window and they are prepared for it. The director said, "The last days of August are the hottest for summer negotiations. United fans will also be hoping for the same from their transfer department." I will be uploading daily Manchester United news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.